Hello everyone, today we're going to be having a little bit of a different video. We're going to be backtesting CCT for EURUSD over January of 2025. I made this I made this little checklist, then I realized I don't need it because it's not actually that difficult to just go over everything before every trade, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to be backtesting the 4-hour 5-minute variant of this strategy. I'm also trying a different thing with the cameras, so hopefully it will be better quality than yesterday. And yeah, so we're going to get straight into it. So firstly, what I'm going to do, we're in this 4-hour period, but this is 6 p.m. So we're going to try trade from only the morning hours of London session. So here, for example, this will be from 2 a.m. So we'll try trade the 3 4-hour candles that happen here. If not, we'll go to the next day if a setup doesn't happen. And yeah, so we're just going to start by marking out our POIs. It's the only one we have. Going to go to the 5-minute, wait for it to close below, and so it closed back above. This would be a valid setup. We're just going to zoom into the 5-minute to see what the risk to reward would be. Okay, we're gonna wait for a second close above actually. This does count as a range flip, but we are back below the POI. Okay, this counts in my books, so I'll enter off this. Now this is a negative RR trade, so we don't actually execute it, but we'll see where this goes. Yeah, so that's a loss for the strategy, but we didn't actually take this trade because it was less than 1 RR. So that's fine, we move on. Now we're in this next 4-hour candle. We're just going to see the win rate of this. Hopefully also this longer video will help me get used to talking to the camera because it's pretty weird. I was out sparring with my brother, so that's why my hair's a bit of a mess. Doing some boxing. Ooh, one thing I didn't check for actually. That's true. High time frame or position. This is why I made the checklist. But that's fine because we didn't actually take that trade. Yeah, this is the 6 o'clock candle, so we're just going to skip past this. Should be 2 a.m. We're actually going to check the high time frames now, so we should do it. To be honest, we should do it before entering the trade instead. I think that'll be easier. We've got no indication here. And okay, so we have our indication. We need our pull back into a POI, which does not seem okay. And we're reset now. This is 2 o'clock, so we still have. And we're not looking for trades anymore. Move on to the next day. Obviously, this isn't actually gonna be how CCT is traded because since everyone's trading all 28 pairs, there's normally a setup on the 4-hour 5-minute every day from what I've seen so far. So yeah, it just depends on the pair that you're trading. This could be interesting. We'd have to have it pulled back down to this level or this level. These don't count as POIs. This doesn't count as a POI because it's above the close. So yeah, we never got an entry there. Okay, this one could be interesting. So we've got this as a POI, and this as the main. Ooh, and this. Okay. Okay, we're back above this, and that's a range flip. So if we go down to the 5-minute, this over here counts as an entry. place our stop loss below here, take profit above here. Now just quickly, we're just going to check that the daily isn't in a bearish continuation, which it isn't. We're just going to check that the weekly isn't in a bearish continuation, which it is. Okay, the weekly, taking this into account, the weekly is in a bearish continuation, so we do not take this trade. We're still not sure about the influence of the weekly and daily over the 4 hour, 5 minute. I imagine the daily has quite a big influence. This is kind of going sideways. Did it meet our entry rules? Yeah, it did. Okay. I don't imagine this trade ever goes to reach take profit. And if it does, it would just be random. With these, we're expecting moves that happen within the candle. There's no stop loss, obviously, to move to break even because we haven't actually entered. But if you did enter this trade, I imagine you would have moved your stop loss to break even, somewhere around there. Maybe moved your stop loss to 1-to-1. This was a 1-to-2 trade. It didn't actually hit, but anyway, we're back down to there. We'll move on. So, since the weekly's in a bearish continuation phase, we should only be looking for bearish moves across this week. Okay, I actually missed one candle, but there wasn't a setup there. So we're going to wait for this POI or these two. Or I think there's only one over there. This already took out the liquidity. So some people think that if the liquidity's already been taken out from the previous candle, trade's no longer valid. So if it retraced in towards there, it wouldn't have been valid. It didn't actually close above these POIs, so we ignore that. Unless it ends up, okay, now we're closed above, and now we're back down below. So this is a discrepancy with the strategy. Some people don't like to trade it if we've already taken out the previous low, but to me, I don't really think that's a problem. So we're just gonna enter. This is obviously bearish. The daily is definitely going to be bearish. No issue with the bullish continuation there. We can target the low. I'm just going to go a bit. So this would be the first valid trade in my eyes to enter with this strategy. I'm going to place order. We're going to do a 1% risk. Yeah, so it took us actually 8 days to get an actual trade in with this strategy on one pair. But obviously there's 28 pairs, so take that as you will. But yeah, so that's a stop loss. Just gonna see where it goes afterwards. Yeah, so it's kind of dancing around a bit. In the end it does, I imagine that's news. Yeah, 120, 130. I imagine that's news. But we do know that news kind of eerily follows technical analysis. So yeah. But we did end up getting stopped out, didn't do anything wrong on that trade. Is there any way I could have improved my stop loss placement? No, perfectly fine. We just, yep, just a lost trade. We move on. This is 6, 10, 2. Okay. We're in again looking for another short. Again, liquidity's been taken out. Take that as you will. But now we've had a valid setup because I don't normally place the POIs. I just look for if it's closed above here. Like each time I skip 5 minutes, it's a new candle close. So we know that that's gone through the POI, closed back below, caused 2 candles, expanding ranges. This is a valid one. Just gonna put our stop loss a bit above that. Target the most recent liquidity point, and 1% risk. It's a short. We'll just check the daily, so you can see that it's not in a bullish continuation or anything. We're gonna short this, and bang. What time is this? 9:20. Don't imagine news comes out at 9:20. So I reckon this is just a solid trade. I don't know if anyone knows if there was news at 9:20 on 13th of January 2025, then could be wrong about that, but it just looks like a normal solid trade to me. So the account is $55 in profit, or 0.5%, and it is the 13th of January. Only trading one pair. This is past the scope. And 2 AM. Okay, we have a bullish indication. Okay, this is an example of a trade that maybe might have high time frame opposition. Okay, no, we actually don't have high time frame opposition from the daily, and we don't have high time frame opposition from the weekly. So we can take this long over here. As I said, this one meets all the entry rules. We've got expanding candle ranges up. We have our liquidity point. Just gonna set our stop loss below the low and take profit above the high, or at the high, and save that. This is a valid trade. That's a stop loss. Okay. No matter, we move on. This was I accidentally skipped a bit fast, but doesn't look like there was any trade anyway. Okay, we're back, flipping bearish. Got our point of interest there. We're in and out. See, the issue with this is you don't know which liquidity to target. Do you target this? I imagine so. Just checking the daily. Not in a bullish continuation, no POIs being met. And the weekly, sorry, bearish continuation, and the weekly, that's fine. Valid trade. Just gonna place the order, and that's a quick take profit. So what I've noticed is these trades can be very fast. If you can be wrong or right very quickly. Sometimes if you do it late in the day when there's less volume, it just drags out for ages. But these trades are bang, you're either wrong or right. And it's quite easy to see whether you are. I skipped fast again. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's have a look. This was 6. Okay, that didn't provide an entry anyway. Sure. And this is 10 o'clock. So let's see. Do we retrace into a POI? We do. And we're back out with increasing counter ranges, I imagine. Yep. This again, we just checked the daily and weekly, so we don't need to check that again. I know they're not in any continuation phases right now. It's the same day, so this is also a valid trade, and that's a stop loss. Move on. So usually you'd have multiple pairs with setups, and you'd just pick the best one. Okay, I may have missed a trade that I don't know if that would have worked or not. Probably not. I don't know, but I missed a trade. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. 2 a.m. Okay, we've taken out the liquidity. Some may say this is now invalidated this candle, but if we get expanding candle ranges over the POI close, we can take this monthly and weekly, weekly and daily, and not in any continuation phases, so I think we're good on that. 1 to 1.2 risk to reward meets the entry rules. I'm happy to place this order, and no. Okay. You might say no, but that would have made the entry invalid. I think my stop loss was in the right place, according to the strategy, so there's no really changing that. That's fine, that's just another stop loss. Market's chopping around a bit, so you might choose not to trade EURUSD at this time, because if you see these 4-hour candles, they're not, these 4-hour candles, they're not really looking too pretty. You kind of want the market to be moving with a bit more conviction when trading this strategy. I also missed another trade in there actually that would have made profit. I don't know, I've just got good at reading these from the 4-hour candles instead of trying to read them from earlier candles. We have more zoomed in candles. So we have these two POIs that we need to look out for. Okay, so we never closed below the POI. No entry there. 6 o'clock. Okay, this is now 2, there's no thing. Okay. Bearish setup. Haven't taken the liquidity yet. Let's see if we can get and retrace into the POI before we do. Retrace in. Okay, we've gone to the next 4 hours. This is the 2 o'clock, so this is still valid. Let's see if we can retrace back into the old POI. Nope. Yeah, so we'd have to just... Okay. We've taken out the liquidity. That counts. Sorry. I'm just a bit sick right now. It's the day before Christmas Eve right now, and I'm backtesting EURUSD. Great. Okay, it's been a while, so we're just going to check the dailies, not in a bearish continuation. It's not. I'm going to check the weekly. No. So we're good on that. What is this? 1 to 2 risk to reward. This is where we can start. Oh, no, never mind. Stop loss very quickly. What did this reach? No, it didn't even reach 1 to 1, so I don't think any trade management would have saved you from that. That's just gone straight down. The account's currently down $206, risking 1% per trade. What is it? The 22nd of January. This is nearly over. We'll get the stats up at the end. Obviously, this is a very small sample size of trades. Did I miss a... I did. I might have. I don't know, that's not very clear. That's fine though. It's funny how all the ones I'm missing are ones that would have hit take profit, but that's okay. Okay, we've gone to the first POI, now in the second, and now we're back out, so we can enter off of this. We just took a long, we know the daily and weekly aren't in bearish continuation phases, so we're good on that. So stop loss, safe distance below the low. Again, risking 1%, and okay, that's fine. Interesting. Okay. That's fine, we move on. Okay, liquidity's been taken out. Okay, we just need to determine whether... Okay, that level is actually POI. So, if we get back above... Sorry, I'm just scanning further and further back to see if we have any... Yeah, no. There's no indication there, so we can just skip the 4 hours. This is the 2, so we can... So what I'm doing is, if the indication is on the 6 o'clock, we don't take it. But if the indication is on the 2, we can take a trade within the 6 o'clock 4-hour candle. Which, if this provides us... Nope, it did not provide us with an entry. Okay. Still no entry. This is fine. I imagine this will give us one. We can get below. Okay, we're now below the POI. Nope. Whoops. Okay, this is now 6 o'clock. We just skipped to next day. No indication, no indication, no indication, no indication. 6 o'clock. Okay, 2 a.m. indication. Yeah, we're gonna skip 5 minutes. Okay, retrace into both POI. Okay, we've just, okay. Yeah, fine. This is just a whole flip of the indication at 10 o'clock, so we'll look for shorts now. We don't get any. This could provide us with something here. Apparently not. This might flip us bullish again though. And okay, so we got 2 fat 5-minute candles over here. What we could do is, so the actual trade for this would be here, which obviously we're not going to take, but you can also target this liquidity up here, and I imagine there's more up there. That's 1 to 0.9, that's more reasonable. I'm not going to place the order, I'm just going to skip through, see what would have happened. Skip longer. Yeah, no. And we're into 12 the next day. Yeah, no indication there. Okay, this one could be interesting. Why are these candles so big? It's really weird. But now we're out of it, and we got a second counter range flip. Okay. Sorry. This now counts. Nope. Back in a loss again. This is not looking good. But obviously these conditions are they're not the best for this strategy. So we'd have to keep that in mind. Okay, we're at the end of the simulation. It's been 31 days. We've total PNL of minus 406.15. Account balance is now 9,593.85. We're just going to go through the analytics quickly. So in 9 trades, we won 2 and lost 7, which makes a win rate of 22.22%. Average RR 1.47, ideal average RR 3.68, max ideal RR 4.31. In last January we had 4 sells and 5 buys. I mean, there's only 9 trades, so it's really not a big sample size to go off of, but it does give you an idea of how I do trade this strategy, and you know, just the type of things you can start to deal with. Obviously it gets better if you have 28 pairs, 6 are giving you a setup, and you pick one of them, then I imagine they'd have a higher probability of that one hitting your take profit, or at least going to a position where you can manage your trade properly. Obviously you have a bit more discretion and context in a live market as well, instead of backtesting, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you watched it all. If you didn't, that's okay. If you just skipped to the analytics, that's fine. But you wouldn't have got the I feel like I did drop some sauce during that, which yeah, I get that maybe I sound a bit boring, but you know, I'm new to YouTube, so we're gonna see how this goes. See you guys in the next one.